I feel like Jesus is coming, okay? And a lot of saints out there right now probably feel the same way. If you're really, really connected, if you haven't figured out the rapture and you still don't believe it, do some research. I don't know. This is more of a spiritual thing for me because I had a rapture dream that was so not like a dream, and it's so clear in my head. I mean, I had this dream about probably 25 years ago, and it woke me up. I'm going to tell you something. The Lord used that dream to wake me up. Oh, I'm so glad because it saved my life. It really did. I was not saved before. But this dream I had, when I had it, I wasn't saved, but it was like Jesus gave me CPR with this dream. You know, it's just like Acts 2:17, and it's just, it means a lot to me because it saved my life pretty much because Jesus woke me up. And I am just so led to tell you about this, that Jesus is coming and you need to get on the ark, okay? And this is just really, really important. If you're ignoring your dreams, please research them, because that's what made me research Jesus after that, because I knew the dream meant something. So that made me go look and research, and then I found Jesus while I did that. And that's how I got into a really deep relationship with Jesus. Once I found him and he found me. I remember him coming to my house and knocking on the door, because I would hear like something knocking on my door, and I have a screened-in patio, iron patio door, you know, for security. So it was like, did somebody get in my patio? You know, you need to have keys and everything. And I would hear someone knocking on my door, and I would go look in the peephole, and there's nobody there, and I realized it was Jesus knocking on the door. And finally I opened the door and let him in. You know what I mean? I did, saints. I want to tell you what's coming is there's so many signs in the sky. You guys, June 21st, the ring. You got July 4th is another sign, major sign in the sky that's coming. On our Independence Day, on 2020, all this is this coming up soon, very soon, you know. It's June 17, 2020 as I make this video at 2:03 p.m. And I am so led to tell you this. I had told you these things in my dreams and videos in the past. I just wanted to document it all. And everybody thought I was crazy, and they would laugh at me and tell me I was a fearmonger. But those were years ago, and now a lot of this is coming to pass. I told you everything was going to start off with a civil unrest, civil war, because of race. It's a race war. But there's so many diabolical things behind it. I told you Obama is the Antichrist. He's the one creating chaos. I had 3 dreams of Obama. In 2014, he was holding a white baby. In like witchcraft, he had the baby in his hand. He had black binds. Like in witchcraft, he was binding. He had a bind around the mouth of the white baby. Free speech. He was trying to steal our speech away. Then he had the black bind around our body and in the hands of the baby so we couldn't move. See, the Lord was showing me that that man is practicing witchcraft. You know, Kenya, you got a lot of witch doctors out there, sarcomas. I'm sure he learned all that stuff. He is into witchcraft, you guys. Don't be naive and fooled of this man. He's a very evil man, and I saw his heart, and it was black as stone. Okay, he didn't have no heart, because God is not in him. Okay, the devil is in him, not God. Don't let this man fool you. And I'm telling you, it's a domino effect. Okay, after this, everything is going to come down like crazy. And I told you I heard Yellowstone. I heard a whisper, Yellowstone. We were trapped in our house. I remember, and I've said this. You can go check on the videos, okay, if you don't believe me. But I said we were wearing masks and goggles because it was ash. It was red skies, and it was brimstone and ash raining down on us. Okay, like I had dreams about a meteorite storm and flooding. So maybe this is all related to that. I remember looking at this out my bedroom window and seeing red skies. It was dark at first, and then I remember it being red, And then I saw it raining blood. I think it had to do with the red dust from Nubru, because it kept getting closer and closer, and it was just pelting us, and the water mingling with the dust and the brimstone and the ash, everything. It was like blood. It was seen like raining blood. And I heard Jesus calling us. He was yelling for us too. I heard him. I remember hearing his trumpet, and it was so scary, you guys. This trumpet, and it was like really long, and I kept remember holding my ears, going, "Stop that trumpet," because it was so scary. It was like a very gothic, kind of reminded me Close Encounter of the Third Kind kind of whole vibe, okay? But really long, like a real spooky and creepy, like it was like a warning, and if you were stuck, oh God, it was just horrible. I just didn't want to hear it anymore. And then it stopped, and then it just felt like somebody grabbed me by the collar and pulled me up, like Harponzo, Raptura, Rapture. But it just felt like something grabbed me and pulled me up. I go through the ceiling, and I remember this gold light surrounding me, and it was like gold glitter, just like that. It was this light just on me, and like kind of this feeling like, don't be afraid. And I just remember going in this tube, like light going upwards, seeing everybody there going up. I see the saints going up. Whoever was near me, there was only very, very few people I saw. There was not very many people up there, you guys. And I truly believe it was probably the 144. Before I just thought it was all us getting raptured. I don't know. And I still am not sure why there was not very many people up there. I just remember meeting Jesus and these clouds in the sky. And it was so cool, you guys. It was like crystal glass, like a plateau. It was made out of glass, and it was all clear, like glass, like regular crystal glass. And it was like stairs on that plateau where we were, and that's where we were put, right on a plateau right there in the clouds. And then we could just see Jesus was there to greet us with the army. The angelic army was there. And then the next thing I know, we were translated somewhere else really quickly. And I always thought it was New Jerusalem, because when we arrived, it was right there. It was next to the moon, and it was right next to the earth. So because I could see the moon, and I could see the earth. And the walls were made out of gold, but it was crystal glass. So it was like this gold and crystal glass. I kid you not. I remember looking through the walls and seeing space, like the way that effect made it like you were floating in heaven. And that's how it was too. And I just remember we all met when we got there. We were at the hall, and then we were crying. And then I just remember crying and falling to my knees, and I didn't know why. I thought it was because I was expecting to see more people there. That's what I always felt in my heart. Why I was crying for the people that weren't there. And I saw people crying too that fell on their knees like me. And then Jesus comes in from the, because I'm standing in from my right, he comes in. And then he comes down, and we were like in lines or something. It seemed like we were in two lines from what I could tell. And I was still on my knees crying, and I remember him coming up to me, taking his robe, and he caught the corner, and he's just like wiping all the tears out of my eyes. Next thing I know, he pulls me up. Then he touches me, and as soon as he touched me, like my head, it's like he took all my sadness away and granted me peace. And then I wasn't sad anymore, and I stopped crying. And every person he went to, he did the same thing, okay? And then he touched their head, and then it was like they'd stop crying automatically, and he just did it until everybody stopped crying. And then I remember him speaking to us, but God had blocked all that, what he said to me. And only certain things I remember seeing. Like, I saw this marble altar, and where they had the incense. It was like a hall of incense, because I remember seeing all this incense dust in there. And then there was a throne, and it was like, it'll remind me like kind of like a Roman, because everything was like marble. And then there was gold floors, and then in certain areas, like when I was walking around, the floors were made out of In the dream, it was made out of green emerald stone, but it had that rainwater look to it, like in the shower glass. And then I learned, I think that's the sea of glass. That's what I was seeing. That's what it seemed like. Anyways, people are telling me. Anyways, we're all dressed in white because our clothes came off when we were raptured. And we were all dressed in a white gown. And we all glowed. Okay, I saw this glowing. Like when I first saw Jesus in my dreams, I've talked about it. Where when I saw him, his face looked all white. Because it's like, when I was staring at him, it looked like the sun. And I couldn't focus on him until I became a child. And as soon as I did, I could see him, and it was like but he still glowed, but he wasn't like the sun anymore. I could actually look at him, and his eyes looked like water. That's how it seemed to me, like water. He was wearing a white robe, so he glowed like all the saints now. And then I remember like doing some kind of training up there. But before all the training stuff, I did go through the 30 minutes of silence, and I just knew because it was the seventh seal. That was automatic. And then I did see an angel come to the altar, and it was like round and flat, kind of like it, and it had a, I guess like, you know, this like a soup kind of to hold all the dust. And all I know is that he came over there, and I remember him filling something up and filling his. I thought it was his hand, and he was cupping it in a ball. And the next thing I know, he hurled it at the earth because we were all watching. And then I saw this ball, this small tiny ball that he made out of dust, out of the incense altar, turn into this mountain. Like slowly, just kept getting bigger, bigger. It was like manifesting itself until it hit the earth. And then when it did, I saw it was on the top. It was like the right side of it, which I thought was east. And then where it landed, I just saw like the embers and the fire, and it just kept spreading. And we were just watching. And then after that, my mind was blocked. And I think we went some type of training. And then I remember coming back on Earth with a bunch of people. But I don't know who all was with me because I can't identify that. That was all blocked in my mind. Because I do remember seeing some people I knew. There was only one time I recognized one person in some of the dreams, but we come back on Earth. And I remember going to like FEMA camps, and I remember going there was a bunch of Christians there that were in the FEMA camps. I think it was in the Washington area or Oregon area, and I remember going there because my daughter I thought was in one of those FEMA camps. In a dream, it seemed like it was my daughter. I just remember going, but I never, in the dream, I didn't see her, but that was what it kind of was implied, and I was there to help others that were in that FEMA camp. But it was so bizarre because in the dream, I don't know why they were there, maybe because of the flooding that came on the earth, because there was, from the meteorite storms I saw, because there's some kind of meteorite storm, and I think it came from the tail of the planets, the 7 planets that Jesus took me up in heaven to show me. I think one of them had a tail, a like huge tail with a bunch of asteroids or meteorites. So when it was coming by, because right now it's above us right now. I don't know how no one notices this, but this Nuru is right above us. That's why they got all the stuff going on with the chaos, you know, because it's gonna defer us from what is really going on, and it's hiding the fact that the signs are up in the sky, like it says in Luke, above us. It's, I don't know, to me, maybe it's because I have a spirit of discernment, but I could see this. There's this huge, huge planet above us right now. And it's coming, it's like passing by us. But right now, it's like in the middle. And I saw a really good picture of it in New Mexico. And I don't even know, it makes me realize that that's why the skies are all always being sprayed. It's like we're keeping busy being like fighting among ourselves, that we're not even paying attention to what's really going on above. And God had warned us in the Bible, these things are going to come to pass with it's in Revelations and Jeremiah, the destroyer. That's what's above us, is the destroyer. Okay, but we're so busy, and I see this in Christians too, fighting, and they're always picking about race. And that's how I saw it in my dream. It starts off with race. It was a race war. We're going to break ourselves up with stupid stuff. But this is being like orchestrated. There's somebody behind it. It's the Antichrist. Yes, he is. He is behind this. He's campaigning and working all these angles and making us fight, but we're not even paying attention what's really going on above us.